Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be. When you are tuning into this broadcast, I am your international award winning author and filmmaker, APS founder, and empowerment specialist, Tennille M. Jackson. And I want to welcome you to another episode of Aspects of Authorpreneurship. And today's topic is marketing madness. Marketing madness. And so, right before I jump into the topic, I want to remind you guys to please observe our rules of protocol. Number one, be sure to say hello. So, whether you are watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, or even listening from Wisdom, please be sure to say hello so that way I can speak back. Number two, like and share the video. Like and share the video. And then number three, tag anybody that you believe would benefit from today's broadcast. So, who would benefit from today's broadcast? Let me get this together on Instagram. Okay. All right. Actually, we're trying to get you ready with me. Okay. So, who would benefit from today's broadcast? Authors, entrepreneurs. So really you can break that down however you like to break that down. So entrepreneurs could be um, independent business owners, small business owners, solopreneurs, all of those, right? We are right in this season leading up to Black Friday. So we know it has been expanded over the years to include Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, and Giving Tuesday. So anybody who typically partakes in that, especially with that Small Business Saturday, you are who I'm talking about. You're going to be able to benefit from this. When we talk about marketing, we're going to go into what marketing is, what marketing means. We're going to talk about effective ways that you can market your business. So, hold on one more quick second. Let's do this. Okay. All right. So, you guys, y'all have no idea all the stuff that I go through in order to get the simulcast going. But I want to just, like I said, I want to go into marketing on today and what marketing is and what it is not. And so, really quickly, y'all give me one quick second because I'm going to tag a few folk and gonna get the conversation going. So again, regardless as to where you are tuning in from, feel free to say hello and feel free to tag somebody that you believe would benefit from this broadcast. So hold on one quick second. And again, y'all come on in the room, say hello. Um, hold on. And I have to, y'all, I gotta start writing down. When you all are looking for me to tag you, please be sure to let me know so that I can tag you guys. Cause I'm trying to get better out here in these broadcasting streets right now. Technically speaking, to the way that we kind of prevent and avoid all of that is just to have you all notified. So you should be following me if you want to get notifications for when I go live. So on YouTube, I have two channels, but mainly I only go off of my channel for Tennille Jackson. So my point is this: for those of you who are looking to be connected, to be notified when I go live, then it would really be great if you would follow me. Again, whether it is Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, or even if you're listening from the Wisdom Podcast, you can find and follow me there at My Name is Tennille. Now, the only times that it gets a little bit tricky is on Instagram because I have three different Instagram pages. Okay. So, like today, If you want to find me on Instagram, you have to be at APS International, APS the letter E International, okay? And then like tomorrow when I do my politics show, then you're gonna go to Educated and Empowered. But if you also again, you can find me on Instagram at my name is Tennille, but I have three different pages, one for each of my businesses plus my own personal page. So whenever I am talking entrepreneurship, about anything literary, anything entrepreneurial, I typically am going to be coming from APS International. Hey, Miss Rochelle. If I am talking about anything politically inspired or inclined, it'll be coming from Educated and Empowered. Because again, remember, my name is Tennille and I inspire. Mm-mm. I educate and empower personally, professionally, politically, socially, and spiritually, so that whenever I am coming to you guys personally, socially, and spiritually, that's gonna be from my name is Tennille page on Instagram. If I'm going to be empowering you guys professionally, that's coming from APS International, and then the education and empowerment politically is gonna be on Educated and Empowered. So I know that was a little bit of a lot. For those of you who are just tuning in from either Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, or even those of you who are listening from Wisdom, it's a lot easier because it's just one thing, it's just one page, and that's it. So you can feel free to either ask your marketing questions, put it in the comment section. If you're listening on Wisdom, you can inbox me your marketing questions, and then I'll read them from the inbox if you're on Wisdom. From those other streams that I mentioned, feel free to put your questions in the comment section and I can address them that way. All right, so we are talking about marketing. And for many, many, many entrepreneurs, regardless of what the industry it may be, many entrepreneurs find marketing to be very overwhelming. And so we're going to go into the why that is, and then how you guys can kind of change that, right? And so you all know me. I typically take though the six W's of journalism and I apply that across the board. So the who, what, when, where, why, and how, no matter what we're talking about, it's not just books that I use, that's across the board. It is universal. Yes, I even encourage you to do it yourselves, like who, what, when, where, why, how. Typically, if you ask yourself that question, those questions, I should say, and if you plug in the answers, you're going to notice that it's going to be very beneficial, very helpful for you. Okay. So, what is marketing? In a nutshell, marketing is pretty much just finding a way to create or build interest about your business, your so if you have a product, service, whatever it is that you offer, marketing, it means that you're finding a way, you're creating a process, you're building, some type of communication, so that people can know about what it is that you do. So that's in a nutshell what marketing is. The reason that many entrepreneurs find marketing to be overwhelming is because it is such a vast area, right? What do I mean by that? There's so many ways that you can market, so many different ways that you can communicate, that you can try to put it out there to get different people to know about it. So that's one reason, because of how vast it is. Number two, it is because it can be expensive, right? So like if you already working off of, if you're working off of a shoestring budget, then when you look at, so say if you were to Google various marketing methods and marketing techniques, you can find so many different things that you can do. And the issue many times with entrepreneurs is that you want to believe that everything is free, and that anytime anything is not free, that means that it is a scam, and that is just not the case, right? Like at the end of the day, everything is not a scam. Everybody is not willing to just give you everything that they have, everything that they've learned, just give it to you for free. And I think that it is important to note that. All right, so yes, are there scammers out here? Absolutely. It's always going to be somebody who finds a way to hack whatever there. And when I say that, I don't just mean like hack into your internet. I mean they're going to hack a system. There are hackers for everything. It's always going to be somebody that, they find the legitimate way in, but then they're going to find a way to um take advantage of those who don't know, right? They're going to find the loophole to say, hey, well, even if it only costs $100, I'm going to charge $1,000. So it's always going to be that type of person that exists, and that's what you also have to know, learn, and be okay with. And not that you're okay with the fact that they are charging that much, but be okay with knowing that there are going to be scammers that's out here. But just because scammers exist does not mean that there are not legitimate business people out here as well. And so you have to do your due diligence to be able to figure out the difference between the two. You have to do your due diligence to know what type of marketing that your business needs, right? Because again, no matter what the business is, when we just look across the board with what APS, Artist Promoting Success, what we or who we deal with authors primarily, but we're also able to help singers, filmmakers, pretty much anybody within the arts. That is our specialty. That's our who. When you look at your business, you need to determine your who to your business. So in my case is I know who we service, right? So you have to know who is your product for, because that's the other part when we're talking about marketing. So understand, I'm already teaching y'all already. I'm already in the midst of the lesson. So when we're talking about marketing, one of the ways to be more efficient, because that's really what today's topic is about, helping to give you all efficient and effective marketing tips. If y'all remember, last week we were talking about networking, and I gave you all some tips to do some effective and efficient networking, right? Because that's pretty much what I'm about. I'm about doing things as efficiently as possible and then being effective, aka productive. Like if you're going to invest your time, make it worth your while. All right. So a lot of times what happens is you have no idea what the industries may call for, because the reality is that you have many entrepreneurs that are not business people, and that's really what hurts. That's really what hurts in today's day of everybody can do everything, right? So once upon a time you had to have specific industrial knowledge. So if I wanted to be an author, then I needed to have been in the literary realm for a while. So I know other authors, I know agents, I know publishing companies, I know, whoever it is that's in that industry. But now, with the advent of social media, with the advent of the internet holistically, I don't have to really have industrial knowledge. Can I benefit from it? Yes. But in order to like become part of the industry, I don't have to have industrial knowledge. Nowadays, if I want to become an author, all I have to do is just say that I want to write the book, and then figure out how to publish it. So I can do all of that inside on my own. Am I saying that that's the way to go? Am I saying that that is, the best thing to do? No, I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm simply saying that you can do that. Same thing with singing. Like it used to be a point where you could have all of these people that you admired, and you went to school, you had vocal training, you did all these different things. But again, now we can just step into the studio if I have, whether I have money to do it, or I just know somebody with a studio, or perhaps I have software that I can use, that I can buy and software, and I can just sing and do what I do. And then look, boom, I can release it on Spotify or iHeart or Apple or, Amazon Music, any of those things, without having had any of the other formal training that back in the day you once had to have, right? So, what is the point that I'm making? The point that I'm making is that if you have not really been a student of your industry and you're just jumping into the industry because you had an idea about something, then I'm not saying that you can't make it. I'm saying that it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you may not know the business part of your gift, right? So especially in the arts. So like say if you decide, I don't care what it is, everybody else is making t-shirts, so I want to make a t-shirt, or I got this really great idea to create a design. It don't mean that the design ain't good, but it don't mean that just because everybody else is making money off of t-shirts that you gonna make money off of t-shirts either, right? Because people who are making money off of what they're doing, they have some type of process, which is what we're going to talk about. They have some type of understanding of what they're trying to accomplish with business. And again, many times people kind of do the homework half-heartedly. So like I understand that if I write and publish a book, I can make money off of it, but I have not taken one business class. I have not watched one webinar on how I can make money, on what it is that I need to do, right? So, like a lot of times when you jump into business as a small business owner, as a solopreneur, what have you, if all you're looking at is just the creativity part of the business, then you are lacking the other skill set to actually moving it. So yes, you can make tons of products, but that does not mean that you're a millionaire. Are you setting yourself up potentially to become a millionaire? Absolutely. Absolutely. There is a method to the madness. There is a way that you can get all these things done. But you do have to understand that it takes time. It definitely takes time. It takes skill set. It takes knowledge. It takes a lot. Okay. So what we were doing, so initially what I said was the who. When we're talking about marketing, matter of fact, so you can, if you were to Google marketing, they'll give you like the 4 P's or the 5 C's, or it's always different strategies, but I'm just going to kind of tell you what it boils down to. So who who is your product, service, business? Who is it geared to? You need to know that. Why do you need to know that? Because marketing is such a vast concept. It's a lot to do. It helps to narrow it down if you know who you're trying to market to, right? So we will say things like your target market, your ideal demographic, things like that. That's terminology that you will hear. And again, it's just a fancy way of saying who is it for? So if you wrote a book, and I always tell this story because I like to tell on myself now because I don't care. It's no shame in my game now, right? But here's the thing, like if you were to ask Tennille, talk to me in 2010, 2011, when my first book came out, and I was asked the question because I didn't know, well, who is your book for? It's for everybody. Everybody. If ever somebody asks you who your product is for, and if ever you answer everybody, that's the first way that people know that you have no clue why you're in business or who you're in business for, right? So, in other words, you may know your why, so that's why I had to change it. Your why may be I want to change the world. Your why may be I want to impact, we generically will say I want to impact people. But hey, transform with Taquita. Hello, thank you so much for joining. So, your why, everybody's why is different. Everybody's why is going to be different. And because your why is different, guess what? That then means your who, your where, your when, all of that, your how, that's going to be different too. So for example, um if you are a person who has a foundation, and I'll just use Rochelle really quickly because I know that she does Warriors Talk, and her target demographic is all about cancer, people who have had cancer. So it does not just mean that her business is only for those diagnosed with cancer, so cancer survivors, but it's also geared toward those people who've had to deal with them, right? So she calls them co-survivors. So if you have a family member, whoever has been your caregiver, if you're in that journey, then her products and what her business is for you as well. But who that is different than, say, if I have a foundation for domestic violence survivors. You see what I'm saying? So like it's both survivors, but it's different types of survivors. So that's how come if I say who is your business for, you have to be able, don't just say survivors. You should be able to be specific in the type of survivors. So when you are trying to market, then that means that you need to specifically know the who. Do not say it's for everybody, because I don't care what you sell. I don't care if you have a book, if it's a song, if it's a t-shirt, no matter what you offer, even if it's food, guess what? It's not for everybody, because everybody doesn't even like the same types of food. Everybody doesn't eat Chinese food. Everybody doesn't eat seafood. Everybody doesn't eat American cuisine. Everybody doesn't eat Italian food. So no matter what it is, if you wrote a book, everybody doesn't like inspirational reads. Everybody doesn't want sci-fi or horror. If you watch, no matter what it is that you do, you need to specifically know who it is that you would like your product to end up in front of, right? Because once you figure out the who, that's going to help you figure out the what, the when, the where, and the how. Does that make sense? So, a lot of reasons why we're being overwhelmed in our marketing is really because of the fact that we've yet to narrow down the who. So if you're like, okay, well, Tennille, I get my who. I know that my target market, like I'm real specific. My target market is for, I don't know, let's say you say women between the ages of 35 and 45. So I know that that is my who. Okay. So where are these women, right? So have you identified where your target market spends their time? And the unfortunate part is that nowadays, because of social media, because of the internet, many people have stopped believing in actually going outside. Like y'all, look, I know we went through a whole pandemic together. I get it. I understand. I know that's what we did. I know they had told us for a long time to be inside. I know they changed so much of what we did to being only virtual. But understand, we done came outside now. Like there are a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of people still are not on social media. They're just not. So that means that if you, when you identify who your target market is, then the where is where are they? Because they're not all just on social media. Like your target market may be at grocery stores. Your target market may be, school moms. Your target market, like you need to do the homework to find out where are the people that you need to have your product. Where are they? And once you figure out where they are, you got to figure out how to get there too. So whether that means becoming a vendor at the event, being able to set up a table somewhere, and again, it's going to all differ. It's going to be based upon whatever your actual business is in terms of the how, right? And we're getting to the how. But understand that you first got to, it's baby steps, it's a process. So who is your market? Where are they at? When is the best time to reach them? Now, let me tell y'all something that might sound real slow to y'all, but I know, like right now, I have been going live at 2. I think it's 2 weeks now because I have started again in November. So for a while when I was going live, I was doing a live at 5, and life was life, and so it was not conducive for me to be able to go live at 5. And then I tried to do a few different things. Join me at 3, all new at 2, right? And so what became the best for me was all new at 2. Now, does that mean that because I go live at 2, that I'm going to have more people tune in at 2 than at 5? Not necessarily, right? So just because I'm able to bring you something all new at 2, that does not necessarily mean that the people who were able to tune in when I was going live at 5 can tune in when I'm giving you something new at 2. So does that mean that I'm slow, that I'm off, that it is wrong for me to go live at 2? No. What it does mean though is that I had to make an adjustment in my expectation, so that, okay, if I understand that people mostly tune in to me at 5 p.m., then I'm still going to go live at 2. Because the beautiful part about social media is that they can do what? Watch it on the replay, right? So whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, even Wisdom gives you the opportunity when you're recording, people can always come back and watch it on the replay. Now, if this was something where it mattered how many live eyes that I get on it, then guess what? I'm going to have to figure out how to change some things so that if I know that the bulk of my people come in at 5, then I got to figure out how to go live at 5. But because this ain't that, because I understand I already have a fan base and I know when they're going to come in and watch me, it doesn't, it may, obviously you want people to tune in if that's what you're doing. And I'm going to always have somebody to tune in. However, I have realistic expectations. You see what I'm saying? So the point of me bringing this up to you all is to say it like this: when you do your homework, you should know who your target market is. You should know where they are. And you should know when is the best time to be able to reach them. And that's whether you're online or offline. And if for whatever reason you understand, so if you figure out, well, it's best for me to try to, let's just say that they hang out at church at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. Okay, if you can't get there at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, you can only come at 5 o'clock on Friday. Just because that's when you can come, don't mean that that's where they're going to be, right? So don't then be discouraged and say, oh, well, something is wrong because I don't have my people. No, either you're going to have to switch, adjust your expectation, right? Because, like, again, if I go live at 5, I know that I'm going to have a lot more people tune in live. Hey, Miss Jillian, I will have a lot more people tune in live at 5. Why? Because I've been going live for years. I understand who my market is. I know when they're available to watch me. However, because my life now has changed and it does not permit for me to do live at 5, then what do I know? Okay, now I just have to switch up my post live marketing, right? So I just have to make sure that I still get the word out so that people can know, oh, you know what? She went live. So they're still going to be watching. I just won't have live views. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say to y'all? So, in other words, take me out the picture. Now insert yourself. So it's nothing wrong with having to switch up your marketing ploys, your techniques, but you have to understand that if you do something that's going to be different than what makes sense for your customer, then you also need to change your thought process behind it, change your expectation behind it, right? So understand it. For those of you who are just now tuning in, we're talking about marketing madness for that entrepreneur, the solopreneur, the small business owner, trying to give you a way to better understand marketing so that you can use it effectively and efficiently for your business. So the first thing we want to do is get an understanding of what exactly marketing is. And marketing is a little bit different than promotion. Promotion is a type of marketing, but what marketing does is really just find a way to get more people aware about your product or service, right? So what we're doing now is kind of talking about some of the things that you might be able to shore up on, because maybe you understand that market is necessary, but you don't know how to do it because you know you either you've totally avoided it, because many people, if something seems overwhelming, just won't do it. It's really that simple. Just never mind. I wrote the book. Maybe somebody will just find it. I did the t-shirt. Maybe they'll just find it. Just like with this t-shirt, Artist Promote Success. I have a heart for the arts. This is in our Educated Empower online store. But I did the t-shirt. Maybe somebody will just find out about it, right? And again, if you never want to take the time to market, that's fine, as long as your expectations align with knowing that if you don't market it, you're not really going to get people to just come in and get it. And so, as long as you're okay with that, and as long as if ever, whenever, if one person every here and again comes in, finds whatever your product or service is, and purchases it, and that's okay with you, then that's great. But for the person who is actually, you're looking to, hey, I created this business for a reason. I made this product for a reason. I'm wanting to sell it. I just don't know how. Then what I'm doing is kind of walking through some things to let you know how to do that. So again, figure out your who is your target market, then where are they, and understand, remember that there is an offline, there is a place that is not social media. So like there is real places in your real world. So do that homework wherever, whatever city, state in which you reside. Then make sure that you're looking up guilds, associations, like whatever your product and stuff is, whoever that market is, figure out where they are. Then determine when is the best time to connect with them, because you need to be able to connect with them. So whether it is online, figure out how to do that. If it is offline, figure out how to get there, right? Which now goes into our how. Like, how are you going to do it? Once you figure out who it is, once you figure out where they are, once you figure out when is the best time to get to them, how are you going to connect with them, right? So how are you going to, how is that approach going to be, that interaction, what's that going to look like? So for again, and it's going to really depend on your business. But like I say, a lot of the issues is that many times we're spending so much time, energy, money, and effort, all because we haven't even narrowed down those first things that I just said. So again, if you've already done that, if you've written a song and you got the downloads that you want, then that's great. So this won't be for you. But for the people who you got your products and stuff, and maybe you haven't even started marketing, maybe you weren't even thinking about marketing, and I've seen that so much. I've been an entrepreneur for over a decade. And I've seen so many times where people don't even feel that it's necessary to market it, like with my authors, because I have a publishing company. And a lot of times, I would tell my authors various things that they need to do. And they, erroneously felt like, well, once it's uploaded to Amazon, I don't have to do nothing else. In what world? Like, Amazon is simply a global distribution platform. That's not your PR firm. They are not working specifically for you. If you have not paid them, if they're not doing campaigns for you, then your product is no different than the other billion plus products that's on there, right? So it's really, number one of my main jobs is just giving people to understand what realistic expectations are. And many times people don't have enough realistic expectations. Unfortunately, we think that just because we think we want to be a millionaire, then that's enough to do it. We think that just because we created the product, we, told our family members about the service, that's going to be enough. That's not enough to do it. Like, you have to figure out, and again, that's why I started this by saying, figure out your why, because everybody is different. If your why is not to become a millionaire, if your why is not to become famous, so you don't care about mainstream, you don't need people in mainstream to know or know about you or support you, then none of what I'm saying matters to you. Like, if the only reason why you got into business was to prove to yourself that you could do it, then how much money you make don't matter to you. But if you're the type of person that, okay, well, I bought this with my last money, whatever that money was, I bought this with my last dollar, and at the very least, I want to be able to break even. You're not going to be able to break even just by sitting at home. Okay. So I'm going to spend this last little time just giving you guys a few things that you can do. You can do one, two, or three, or none of them at all. Okay. Because maybe you tried it, maybe it didn't work. But on today's show, like I tell y'all, whenever I come before you, especially in the aspects of entrepreneurship, is gonna typically I educate and empower. That's across the board, right? But with aspects of entrepreneurship, I typically like to not just tell y'all stuff, but also give you some type of tip, whether it's going to always be at least one. Would you say that again, Miss Jillian? It definitely matters. But I always try to give y'all at least one tip that you can use effective immediately, right? Why? Because this is my way of saying thank you, because you don't have to spend your time tuning in to me. And also it's because I'm a coach. I'm a life coach and a lit coach. And so this is kind of what I do. And so I want to kind of let you guys see what it's like. I give you a lot of great stuff for free. You tune into a lot of people, and many times all you're going to get is fluff. Like, people will bring 50 other people on to introduce themselves, to say stuff about their business, and you like, I ain't tuned in for them. I tuned in for you. When is this person coming on? And so I'm not a person that believes in fluffing. Like, most of the time, y'all still say a prayer for your girl, because I be trying. I know I say 2 o'clock, sometimes be 2:04, 2:07. I'm working, because like today I got on at 2 o'clock. But beyond that, for the most part, if I'm going live, I'm not going live just for the sake of, because Lord knows I got 50, 11 hats that I wear. And so I could be spending my time doing something with one of those hats, rather than to just come on here and just small talk, with y'all. No, if I'm coming on here, I'm coming on here to try to give something that's going to help somebody. And so here are some things that you guys can use. And it's no particular order. I'm just going to give y'all 3 quick things that you can do. So again, depending on your business, product, service, some, none, maybe all may work for you. So if you're not already doing these things, one of the things that you can do to help market your business, understand. Thank you so much, Miss Jillian. I appreciate you for watching. But understand this. So if you are marketing, remember, I keep saying there are whys for your marketing. So yes, there's a why did you get into business, but then there's also, why am I using this particular marketing method, right? So that should always be what you ask yourself before you pay the money, before you use your time. Why am I going to use this? See, because many people, you guys will use stuff just because somebody said to use it, but you don't even know why they used it. So just because I'm trying to think about, so like, let's say if somebody bought Sprite, I don't know, somebody bought Sprite and they said that this is the best pop ever. You buy it, but you don't even drink pop. You just bought it because somebody said to buy, but you done bought it, and then now you mad because you don't like the taste of it. Well, if you don't drink pop, why would you buy Sprite? You see what I'm trying to say? And a lot of times it's like that. A lot of times you will go to webinars that ain't no reason for you to be in that room. Just because somebody that you know or somebody that's well known said to go, first of all, you need to find out, why did you go? What was your reason for going? Because if y'all's whys match, then okay, it makes sense for you to go. But just because this is a good event or because it is a good marketing tool, that don't mean that it's going to be good for you. So you have to learn how to start getting to be more specific in your operation of things, right? So because at the end of the day, we ain't nobody got time to waste, especially entrepreneurs. Our time is more valuable than our dollars, y'all. And so, like, that's the first thing. Like, when you are, whatever the marketing tool is, before you just start using it, ask yourself, number one, why am I using this tool? What am I expecting to get from this tool? Right? Because I think a lot of times we don't do that. We don't ask, we just jump into the mix. You got that momentum going. Ooh, okay, it's only $10. Okay, it was only $10, but why did you spend that $10? Did that $10 do what you needed for it to do? So don't feel like just because it's cheap that it's going to be effective or it's going to yield you the return that you're expecting. All right. Sometimes you might find things that's free. Sometimes it might cost hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, but you need to know in either case, just because it's free, don't make it effective, right? And just because it costs a lot, don't make it effective. You need to know, why am I using this particular marketing tool? All right. So, one of the things that you can do is use ads. Now, regardless, again, whether you're watching from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, most most social media platforms provides you the opportunity to boost a post, to create an ad, what, however you want to do it. You can create your reel and boost the reel. You can create a post and boost a post, right? Notwithstanding, well, because I think with Facebook, if it's political stuff, and they got some fine print. So if I'm saying Facebook, obviously that means Instagram as well. So there may be some fine print that you have to read. But everything beyond that, if you are in business, I don't know, and again, don't quote me, read the fine print first. But most of the time, if you're trying to promote your business, it's allowable on Facebook, Instagram, and like I say, probably LinkedIn as well. Okay. So, what you need to do if you're going to use an ad, you need to know why it is that you're using the ad. What is it that you're expecting for it to do? Right. So, with Facebook, they will give you options. They'll say, hey, are you just trying to drive people to your page? Are you wanting them to learn more about your business? Are you trying to sell a product? You need to know what you're trying to accomplish with that ad, because the what or the reason for, the reason why you're using your ad. So the why should affect the what. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you decide to use an ad, then once you figure out why you're using the ad, then that's going to determine the what and the how. So, in other words, the way that you create an ad, if you're just trying to get more people to notice your page, will not be the same way that you're going to use the ad if you're trying to convert a person to buy your product. It doesn't look the same and it doesn't read the same. And a lot of times, what'll happen is people don't get that part. And so you want for people to become your customer, but in essence, the message, the post that you give is only making them, click learn more. Or it might get them to watch a page. Like Facebook could give you the analytics and they'll say, hey, it was this many people that saw your post, but you're like, but I still don't have a customer. So was that the most effective tool? And if the answer is no, then what is even more effective? What is something even more effective that I can do to get that desired result? And so sometimes, y'all, it could be as simple as going to Google, if you know exactly what you're trying to accomplish, and they can give you some suggestions. But here's the thing that you also have to be open to understanding. It's not just going, mostly everything's gonna come with a trial and error period. It's not like you're gonna be able to just say, "Oh, I paid $12.99," and I'm saying $12.99. I paid $12.99 to find out the meaning of life, and now I know every right door to open, and no bad thing shall come to me. It's again, it's not realistic. You got to have realistic expectations. You have to understand what you are realistically looking forward to happen. So if again, have these expectations, but okay, let me keep going because I don't want to get caught up. So number one, targeted ads. That's one thing that you can use if we're talking about social media. Now, number two, it's an oldie but a goodie, email marketing. Now, I know people that swear by email marketing, and I know people who hate email marketing. I know people who say, I ain't never gonna use emails. And I'm not talking about like that they just sitting here and I'm talking about people who are certified millionaires that do not use email marketing. So just because it may, again, this is why I said at the beginning, know your why. Because it may work for your business and it may be effective for your business, it don't mean that it's the only way to be effective. So these people, they find other methods and other things to employ. The people that I'm talking about, like it's three people I'm thinking of right off the top of my head. They don't use email marketing, but they are bona fide millionaires. So, and they never had to use email marketing because it wasn't a part of their marketing plan, right? So understand what it is that you want to do. So with email marketing, this is the reason why many people find it to be effective. So what you're able to do once you get people's email addresses, and again, this is under the premise that you're getting them the right way, right? So not that you done paid for somebody else's email addresses and they have no idea that you got their email address, but people have willingly given you their email addresses. They know what it is that you're going to be using their email address, and they have given you permission for that. So let's, under that premise, let's go with this to say, the reason why you like having email addresses is because that is a way that you can build your business, right? Every time you come up with a product or service, and again, I'm not saying that you got to email people 5, 10 times a day, but I will say that all of us have had some type of business hit you in your email 5, 6 times. You be like, Lord, I thank you that this is electronic mail and not snail mail. Because you imagine some of these businesses that hit you up 3, 4, 5 times a day if they were actually sending that much mail to your house. So there are some people who I believe abuse the process, but I think that when you have a legitimate relationship with people, it's just like with text messages, right? I don't know if any of you guys are part of group chats. I don't always like being a part of a group chat, especially when people do not know texting etiquette. Okay. I don't care what system you're in, and this is kind of separate, but let's still roll it in so it'll be the same, because there are some people who also choose to use group chats as a part of your marketing ploy. You should know etiquette, point blank and period. So if you're going to put me in a group with 50 other people, 20 other people, 12 other people, I don't care how many it is. If you put me in a group and it's not just me and you didn't ask me to put me in a group. You done just, I looked up and I'm in a group chat. Don't be having all types of conversations that's going on all types of day and night. You understand what I'm saying? I do not want my phone. I don't care if it's inbox. I don't want my phone. I don't want my messenger going off 12 times, in an hour. That's not cool. All right. Because everybody don't like that. So if you're going to do group messages, and this is how come, if you do email campaigns, make sure you use something like a MailChimp. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones where you can put in the names, and it's not something where everybody have access to everybody else's information. Because whether or not you know it, you are actually you're betraying their trust. Like I've been part of, y'all. This my right hand to God. My right hand to God. I have been a part of CPS. I will not tell you what school, but I have been a part of CPS new emails where there were literally 100 plus people email addresses in there. So they didn't use a MailChimp that will hide everybody else's email addresses. So if I was that chick, which I'm not that chick, y'all, somebody saying you probably should have been, but I ain't. But if I was that chick, I could go and I could take all of these people email addresses and then just filter them over into my emailing system. I don't do stuff like that because I do believe in building relationships organically. Again, you can pay for email addresses, but the chances of people opening up an email that comes from somebody that they don't know. Again, think about it like it's snail mail. If somebody sends you a letter and you don't know them and it looks spammy, most of the time we not gonna open it. Like I've had to start over multiple times my email marketing campaigns, and that's really because I lack consistency. I'm just being 100% honest with y'all because I know somebody is going through the same thing. I lack consistency, and so like a lot of times, if you lack consistency, and if you did not have a great personal relationship with the person, they may not remember you. Now, if it was somebody, let's say if this is a friend of mine, and maybe it's been 2 or 3 months since I sent you an email, you know me. So when you see my email address, you'll answer it. But if it's somebody I met one time and I met them then, I never followed up with them, and now 6 to 8 to 10 months later, like I don't even know that that's a 50-50 chance that they'll answer it. I mean, it depends on what type of impression I left with them, right? So it probably more so like a 20% chance that maybe they'll remember me and they'll open it. So the point that I'm making is that if you do email marketing, whereas I probably would not say do it 5, 10 times a day every day, I would say that it's okay to send, maybe 1 or 2 emails. And again, I'm not a email marketing expert. So let me put that out there. I'm not an email marketing expert, but I'm telling you, as a person who sends emails with a relatively nice opening rate and who receives emails and decides which ones I'm gonna open versus just throw away, like I'm not overwhelmed if I get 1 to 2 emails from somebody. I don't want to get emails every single day, right? Um, some people will say that that's effective marketing because you're constantly on their mind. So again, this is where it comes in handy to know your who. And as you're building your emailing list, I'm not saying that you gonna know every single person, right? Because and I mean personally, like because there may be times where you're doing a vending event, and maybe at the vending event you have a paper where people can sign their names and email a list. So maybe you need to meet some of those people. They happen to come to your table and they were more so interested in what it was you're selling than you all having an actual conversation. So I'm not insinuating that every single name that's on your emailing list that you will personally know, but I'm simply saying that a lot of times business works well when you treat people the way you want to be treated. And so, like, to me and for me, I typically am going to let people know, I'll send it, and especially if it's been a long time since I've sent an email to them, I'll send out something that'll say, hey, starting this email, would you, this campaign, would you like to be a part of this blast? And again, yeah, I got multiple businesses. So I have like a master list for everything that I do. So there's a master list that includes educated and empowered stuff. My name is Tennille stuff, and artist promoting success stuff, right? But then there are lists that's solely for artist promoting success stuff, educating empowered stuff, and my name is Tennille stuff. So like, and we'll go into another broadcast on what's the difference between those emails. But the point, y'all get where I'm going, because I didn't know it's almost 3 o'clock and I want to get to this last one. So email marketing is something else. And if y'all have questions, go ahead and ask the questions, because I am just about getting to the end of this broadcast. So I do not want to end it without addressing. If you have any questions, you can feel free to put them in now. But okay, so we said targeted ads is one way, one marketing method. Email marketing is another one. And then here's the other one, the social media. Now, I cannot tell you how many entrepreneurs that I work with that are deathly afraid of going live on social media, right? And that's really like even pushing it out further. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that don't even interact on social media. You ain't gonna find them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, Clubhouse, Pinterest, Wisdom. Like you ain't finding them no nowhere. Okay. And to me, I feel that it's a bit much to not have any type of professional presence. If you are an entrepreneur, I feel that you should be on some form of social media. I do not feel that you have to be on every social media, especially if social media gives you anxiety. But I do feel that it is possible to create a professional profile where people know about your business. You do not have to, if you don't want to be that personable person. So, like, you ain't the person that's sharing when y'all go out to dinner. They don't know how many kids you got. You ain't showing them what you did for your anniversary. I'm not insinuating that you gotta, become friends, but I do think that it is I think that it makes business sense to have a social media presence because social media is such a vast marketing tool, right? But again, you have to figure it out for yourself. And I'll end it like this. I know I didn't go much into it, but I do have a social media course. So like one of them is called Overcoming Your Facebook Fears. So if there is anyone who is wanting to know, hey, y'all know how he is. End of the year coming. So the new year is going to be a new me. I know all this whole year. I never did social media, but I've been wanting to do it. So for those of you who would like to take this course, it's going to be coming up in January. Just hit me up. I am doing a course that's called Overcoming Your Facebook Fears. So whether it is, from setting up your Facebook account, getting that going, if you already have an account but you don't have a business page and you're trying to figure out how to get that going, getting people to like it, interacting there, even down to setting up your account so that you can go live and you can interact with people there and sell your products and services and all of that stuff there. If you want to know, not just know how to do it, but have somebody kind of like train you and walk you through it, then hit me up and you can join that social media course. There is a fee for it. It is not free 99. But again, if you are interested in it, just hit me up either in the inbox or you can comment below and I'll follow up with you and I can give you all of the information there. But I am hoping that this episode of Marketing Madness has been beneficial to some of you guys to understand, if nothing else, just the bare bones basics of how to effectively start your marketing campaign. So you know who, if you have not yet, if you've been in business without identifying who your target market should be, start there. Don't even work. Start there. First, figure out who it is that you are wanting to be in the room with. That's kind of like going to be your best bet. So, again, guys, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. And don't forget, if you are not already following me across social media platforms, please take a quick second to do it. Don't think that I got so many followers that I don't notice, or appreciate when a new one comes on board. So again, whether you listen to me on the Wisdom platform, if you tune in to me on Instagram, do know that there are three Instagram pages that I would love for you to follow. That is this one that we're on today, which is APS, the letter E International, as well as Educated and Empowered, which I will be coming live from tomorrow for another episode. It's not politics, it's principles. And then my name is Tennille, which is the handle that you can find me across the board: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and Wisdom. You can find and follow me at My Name is Tennille. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I'll say this too: if you liked everything that you heard on today's show, or if something that you heard resonated with you, something that you're going to be able to use, then feel free to show your support, and you can send a donation to Cash App at $ the letter APS International. That's APS, the letter International. But I want to thank you guys so much. And also, I keep forgetting this. Make sure this right here is talking about whether or not you like writing. We are enrolling for our new Writer Society cohort. If you are interested in writing, you're ready to become a published author, join a community of like-minded individuals, then go ahead and register for our upcoming cohort, which also starts in January. And that's our website, weareaps.com, www.weareaps.com. So that has been a lot, I know, but I am hoping that it has been something that has been able to educate and empower you. So again, don't forget to join me tomorrow for an all new at 2, where I will be talking and trying to empower you politically. After all, my name is Tennille, and I do empower, educate, and empower personally, professionally, politically, socially, and spiritually. So tomorrow we will be talking, it's not politics, it's principles. So I hope that you're able to join for all new at 2. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And until next time, you all stay inspired.